Good morning, beautiful. How are you, hun? I am on day 2 of my cycle, and it's interesting because I have spent the better part of my life hating my uterus because of the pain it inflicted on me month after month, year after year. I would be curled up in a ball for at least 2 days, waiting for the worst of the pain to subside. My flow was heavy and often I would feel dizzy if I tried to stand up. So I would lie there in excruciating pain, cursing my womb, and often threatening to have it removed once I could afford it, so as I could be done with the wretchedness of this whole process. Literally, my life would come to a standstill. Eventually, I decided to use a contraceptive to curb the pain. And it was also at a time when my hemoglobin levels were at a life-threateningly low stage, I guess. What the IUD, is it called IUD? I always get it wrong. I always get the letters mixed up. So what the IUD did for me was stop the pain and stop the excessive bleeding. Now, for some women, the bleeding stops completely. That hasn't happened for me. I still have a flow. And what I've also noticed is that when my periods do start, the rest of my body gives me signals to slow down, right? So, for example, yesterday, like I said, this is day 2. So yesterday, actually, it was even 2 days ago. I had a splitting migraine. Sis, there was no way I was going to sit in front of a computer and do this thing called work. So I didn't. I stayed in bed. I drank a lot of water. I slept and I read. Now, recently I read a book where the author, a woman, talks about how grateful she was for her uterus, and she was so grateful when she had her period. Now, obviously, that was not the case for me. So I was like, my interest peaked. You see, beloved, she treasured her womb because she saw it as the center of her creativity, or the place of creation in her body. As with all creations, they have a life cycle, right? So menstruation, the act of the bleeding, right, is a death of sorts, a release of the old to make room for the new. And as we let go, our bodies are meant to slow down. They are meant to rest, to be still. The conundrum we face as women is that we are forced to live in a world designed by men, for men. They have created workspaces that are forever moving, forever going after the money, non-stop, always pushing the limits. You rest when you die culture. So here comes a woman whose body has been naturally designed to rest every 28 days, but she wants to fit in. She wants to succeed, so she grinds just as hard and then hates her uterus when it says, ma'am, sit down, rest, sis, That is totally me. That was totally me, a workaholic. Using, or more accurately, abusing work as my addiction of choice. Now, you see, I think we all have addictions. It could be food, alcohol, drugs, relationships. It's addictions. And the thing is, just because some addictions are culturally accepted, we go around undiagnosed and no one thinks twice to help us. They look at us and say, she's working. It's normal. No. Let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is Chulu. I'm a workaholic because I was running away from my pain. Until the pain outruns you and you have worn your body out that it decides to hold a strike and it shuts down. Suddenly you have burnout, and only then do you see the importance of rest and also getting help to figure out your ish. I have burnt out 3 times in my life, trying to fit into this unrealistic expectations of our work culture and not loving myself enough to create healthy boundaries. The world is changing. We can no longer continue to exist with systems that don't work, that are fundamentally flawed, that have no consideration for half the world's population who are female. We are human beings, not doings. We are designed to just be, to rest, recalibrate, to relax. So I'm challenging you. From today onwards, never feel guilty or ashamed because once a month you have to slow down. Instead of resisting it, embrace it. Design your life around it. And be grateful that you are letting go of the old to make space for the new. Submit to the natural order of life, and you will find you are so much more creative and productive without having to exert so much more energy. Now, on the 1st to the 7th December, I am inviting you to be part of the Good Morning Beautiful Wellness Challenge. It's funny, when I originally started this challenge, it was called Know Your Purpose, but it has now evolved into Good Morning Beautiful. And I wanted to just explain how it works, right? So I'm going to open a temporary WhatsApp group. When the 7 days are done, the group will be closed. And every morning you will receive a voice note, which is no longer than 6 to 7 minutes. Okay, and it will give you a journal prompt, an exercise, or an activity for that day. You will need a book to write in. If you already have a journal, that is great. That's fantastic. If you don't, I don't want you to overthink it. Just buy an exercise book from the store. I personally use Sobi as my journal. If you're Zambian, you know what I'm talking about. And then it is your responsibility to dedicate time in your day to do the challenge. I think you'd probably only need about maybe 30 minutes to an hour, just depending on yourself, right? So dedicate time to do the challenge. So for example, in the past, you have the early risers who like to do it first thing in the morning. Others will do it at lunch break, and others will do it after they knock off, and it's their way of decompressing for the day. The important thing is that you are intentional about allocating time to do it in those 7 days. Don't try and do all of the exercises on one day. Like, make sure you do every exercise each day, right? Now, after you've completed your daily task, you are encouraged, asked to give feedback in the WhatsApp group, and this helps us see each other's progress, and we celebrate each other and we encourage each other. It's such a beautiful space. It's a sacred space. It's a space that is so loving, non-judgmental, and it's really beautiful. At the end of the 7 days, you will come out feeling transformed and more in tune with yourself. That's if, of course, that you are committed and not just interested. And I say it all the time. you will get out of a program what you put into it. So, there are people that go and try things and then afterwards they're like, it didn't work for me. And then you talk to them and like, okay, did you do the exercises? Did you do what was asked? And it was like, no, I only sort of did it on 1 day, 2 days, and then I got bored. And then I'm like, but what are you complaining about? So commit, come in and say, I am committed to do this. Okay. Now, every voice note starts by me saying, good morning, beautiful, hence the name. So past participants started calling it good morning, beautiful, and the name just stuck. So sis, you are so welcome to join the challenge. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what your race is. Listen, this is for everybody. Invite your friends, invite your sisters, your family, your workmates. I think it's an ideal way to end the year. Why? Because we get so caught up, like we're in November already, right? And all these 11 months have passed and we've been working, grinding at home. We've been mothering and doing this adulting life and all of that, right? Trying to keep ourselves physically fit or whatever, and also being spiritually fit. But we often forget our emotions. What if we could be just as intentional about our emotional hygiene as we are about our physical hygiene? Because I'm assuming, right, like I'm hoping that you brush your teeth every day and you bath, you comb your hair, all of that stuff. You do it so naturally, automatically, like it's a non-starter, it's non-negotiable, right? What if we did the same for our emotions? Allowed ourselves to process them, to feel them, and not demonize them or pretend they don't exist. I think it would make the world better. So to sign up for Good Morning Beautiful, all you have to do, there's so many options. The best one is to go to the website, africanawoman.com. africanawoman.com. You can sign up there, or you can go to the show notes on your podcast app, or you can go to socials. So find me at Chuluba Design, and you can find the sign up there. Go to the link in the bio. And you know what? Just sign up and make sure, I keep saying this, make sure that you tell everybody, invite everybody to join. This is a free, it's a free challenge. And I just have this feeling that so many more people need it this time. I really do have this feeling. And I know there are people that have done it before. It's going to be a little different. I think what I'm going to talk about is going to be different. Yeah. So yeah. Spread the word, guys. Join Good Morning Beautiful. And that's it for today. There's no interview, and I'll tell you the truth. The truth is my body could not allow me to sit and edit a podcast, sit and edit an interview. I just couldn't, so I didn't force it to. Next week, we will be back to our normal schedule, and let me tell you, I have been doing a number of interviews these last few weeks. I will be doing quite a number in November. And actually, this is an open invitation. If you think that you want to be a guest on the podcast, please don't wait for me to invite you. Just tell me, Chulu, I want to be on the show. Like, I have a story. And I believe everybody has a story. But, if you want to be a guest on the show, please do reach out. And if there's anybody you guys think should be a guest on the show, tell me about them. Recommend people. I would love to know. So yeah, I've been interviewing a number of people and the stories are, mind blowing. Like, this is now next level, guys. Next level. I can't wait for you to hear it. And I believe this is going to be season 4. Yeah. So it's going to be beautiful. I honestly feel that there's a change coming, and I hope you're going to be with me along the way. Yeah, so I'm excited, and yeah, I can't wait to share them with you. Okay, I am off to rest. Take care, my darling. Love, Chulo.